There is a town in the US where the government is offering people $50,000 to move there, yet nobody is interested. Want to know why? Keep watching. In this video, we will look at abandoned towns in the USA that have been empty for decades that people generally avoid moving to. After watching the video, let me know down in the comments which of these towns you would prefer to move to if you get the chance. Several towns across the United States have experienced significant population declines, leading to abandonment or near abandonment due to various economic and environmental factors. Below are some shanty ghost towns in the USA that may seem peaceful at first, but the loneliness can turn into depression pretty quick. Let's start the countdown now of America's most isolated ghost towns. Centralia, Pennsylvania, America's most infamous ghost town. Centralia, Pennsylvania, remains one of America's most infamous ghost towns, a living reminder of industrial misfortune. Back in 1962, an underground coal mine fire ignited beneath the town, and despite numerous attempts to extinguish or contain it, the fire still burns today. As a result, the once thriving community has been mostly abandoned, with current estimates suggesting fewer than 10 residents still calling it home. The eerie, deserted streets and crumbling structures serve as constant reminders of a past when the town was a bustling hub of industry, only to be overtaken by a relentless, destructive force from beneath the surface. In recent years, Centralia has drawn curious visitors, urban explorers, and documentary filmmakers, all captivated by its tragic yet mesmerizing decay. The town has become more than just an abandoned place. It's a poignant symbol of how industrial activities can have long-lasting, sometimes irreversible impacts on communities and the environment. Despite sporadic local efforts to manage the safety hazards, the government maintains that the area remains unsafe for habitation. Today, Centralia stands as a stark, almost surreal landscape where nature and decay reclaim the remnants of a once thriving town, offering a cautionary tale for future generations. If you think this town was bizarre, the next one will shock you even more. Bodie, California, the frozen gold rush town lost in time. Bodie, California, stands as one of the most authentic and well-preserved ghost towns in the United States, offering a fascinating glimpse into the tumultuous era of the gold rush. Nestled in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Bodie's story began in 1859, when prospector William Bodie discovered gold in the area. This discovery sparked a rush of fortune seekers, and by 1879, the town's population had swelled to between 80 and 10 residents. At its zenith, Bodie boasted around 20 structures, including numerous saloons, hotels, a red light district, a Wells Fargo bank, and even a Chinatown, reflecting the diverse and often tumultuous life of a booming mining town. However, as is common with boom towns, Bodie's prosperity was short-lived. By the 1880s, the allure of more lucrative mining opportunities elsewhere led many residents to depart, initiating the town's decline. The final blow came in 1942, when mining operations ceased entirely, rendering Bodie a true ghost town. Recognizing its historical significance, California designated Bodie as a state historic park in 1962. Today, approximately 110 structures remain in a state of arrested decay, preserved but not restored, allowing visitors to experience the town much as it was left. This preservation effort offers an eerie yet captivating window into the past, attracting around 200 visitors annually who wander its deserted streets and peer into buildings frozen in time. This town was indeed sad and gloomy to live in, but the next town in the list is more abandoned and isolated than you'd think. Pawnee City, Nebraska. A small town's bold move to reverse decline. Pawnee City, Nebraska, with a current population of approximately 840 residents, has experienced a significant decline from its peak of 147 in 1,990. This trend reflects broader challenges faced by many rural communities in maintaining population and economic vitality. In response, Pawnee City has launched the Vision 2030 initiative, aiming to rejuvenate the town by constructing 25 new single-family homes priced at $325,000 each. To attract new residents, the city is offering $50,000 in down payment assistance to eligible buyers who meet specific income criteria. Since the program's announcement on March 14, 2025, it has garnered significant interest, with 115 applications submitted within the first 2 weeks. Cite Turns Around US 12. This initiative seeks to reverse the town's population decline and stimulate the local economy by attracting families, professionals, and retirees. Pawnee City boasts amenities such as a school, hospital, parks, and a recently opened amphitheater hosting various events, enhancing its appeal as a place to live. The Vision 2030 program exemplifies how targeted incentives and community development efforts can breathe new life into rural America, offering a promising model for other small towns facing similar challenges. Okay, so this town's pretty depressing, right? But get this, the next place we're checking out, way more deserted and cut off than you'd even imagine. Pomeroy, Iowa, a resilient community amidst rural challenges. Pomeroy, Iowa, a small town nestled in Calhoun County, has experienced a notable population decline over the decades. From a population of 763 in 1990, it has decreased to approximately 520 residents as of 2023. This trend reflects broader challenges faced by many rural communities in maintaining their populations and economic vitality. Despite the dwindling numbers, Pomeroy's community spirit remains evident, particularly through local establishments like Byron's Bar. For nearly 30 years, Byron's has been a cultural hub, attracting music fans and serving as a gathering place for residents and visitors alike. In recent developments, the building housing Byron's was deemed unsafe, posing a threat to this vital community asset. Demonstrating resilience and commitment, the community rallied together, raising $118,000 to support the bar's relocation to a nearby city-owned building. This successful effort not only preserved a cherished local institution, but also highlighted the town's determination to sustain its social fabric amidst ongoing challenges. Pomeroy's story exemplifies the enduring spirit of small-town America, where collective action and cultural landmarks play pivotal roles in community preservation. Man, this town's already a downer, right? But wait till you see the next stop. It's like civilization just gave up halfway through. Gary, Indiana, the Forgotten Steel City. Gary, Indiana city, that many refer to as the Forgotten Steel City. Once a booming hub for America's steel industry, Gary has seen dramatic changes over the decades, and its story is both fascinating and a bit bittersweet. Gary was founded in 1906 by the U.S. Steel, and for much of the 20th century, it was the heartbeat of America's industrial might. At its peak, tens of thousands of hard-working people filled its streets, and the city's factories churned out the steel that built a nation. However, as global competition intensified and the American steel industry began to falter. The jobs that once defined the city started disappearing. The ripple effects were profound. Businesses closed, residents moved away, and the population shrank dramatically. According to the 2020 census, Gary now has roughly 69,000 residents, a stark contrast to its booming past when the numbers were nearly 3 times as high. In recent years, Gary's challenges have been well documented. The city struggles with high unemployment, a significant number of vacant and dilapidated properties, and economic hardships that are hard to overcome. Many neighborhoods remain largely abandoned, and the cityscape tells the story of a place that once was a vital industrial center. Local residents often speak of the palpable sense of loss, as the grand legacy of steel production has given way to a more somber reality. But it's not all bleak news. In the midst of these challenges, there have been efforts to revitalize Gary. Various government and private initiatives have sought to breathe new life into the city by redeveloping its industrial areas and waterfront along Lake Michigan. These projects aim to attract new businesses and residents, offering a vision of a more diversified local economy. Yet, progress is slow, and the legacy of industrial decline remains deeply ingrained in the city's identity. There's a tangible feeling of resilience among some community members who hope that with sustained investment and innovative ideas, Gary might one day recapture some of its former vibrancy. If you ever visit Gary, you'll notice the juxtaposition of past glory and present challenges. While remnants of its steel-producing past still linger in the form of abandoned factories and ghostly neighborhoods, there are also signs of hope. Small pockets of community spirit, local art projects, and grassroots efforts aimed at turning vacant lots into community spaces. It's a city that tells a powerful story of American industrial history, of rise and fall, and of the ongoing struggle to reinvent oneself in the face of economic transformation. In short, Gary, Indiana, remains a living testament to America's industrial might and its subsequent challenges. It's a city where the echoes of a bustling steel era are still heard in the wind, even as the residents and community leaders work hard to chart a new course for the future. If you think this place is bleak, just hang tight. The next one makes this feel like a hotspot. Cairo, Illinois, a ghost town in the making. Cairo, Illinois, once a bustling river town where the Mississippi and Ohio meet, has been on a steady decline for decades. Today, its population has dwindled to barely over 20 residents, and many of its streets are marked by boarded-up storefronts, abandoned houses, and crumbling infrastructure. The city's economic struggles, exacerbated by high unemployment rates and a diminishing tax base, have left much of its potential unfulfilled. Once a hub of commerce and culture, Cairo now feels like a ghost town in the making, with its rich history marred by decades of neglect and disinvestment. Recent efforts to revitalize the town have been modest, with local initiatives aiming to preserve historical landmarks and spark community engagement, but progress remains slow. The legacy of racial tensions, economic hardships, and environmental challenges continues to weigh heavily on Cairo's prospects for renewal. For many, the town stands as a somber reminder of how economic and social forces can transform a once thriving community into a relic of the past, making it a poignant example of the broader struggles faced by many small American towns. Yeah, this town's a bit of a ghost zone, but where are we heading next? It's straight up post-apocalyptic. Scottsboro, Alabama, the town of forgotten train tracks. Scottsboro, Alabama, often called the town of forgotten train tracks, has a rich history deeply intertwined with America's railway era. In its heyday, Scottsboro was a bustling rail hub that connected the rural south to industrial centers further north. The steady flow of freight and passenger trains once spurred local economic growth and community pride. However, as the importance of rail transport dwindled with the rise of highways and modern logistics, many of the tracks that once brought prosperity fell into disuse, becoming silent remnants of a bygone era. Today, some of these abandoned rail corridors serve as evocative markers of the past, inspiring local historians and community groups to preserve and celebrate the town's unique heritage. In recent years, there's been a renewed interest in harnessing Scottsboro's historical charm to boost tourism and community spirit. According to updated data, the town now has around 14,000 residents who are working to blend its storied past with modern revitalization efforts. Local initiatives have focused on restoring old railway stations and rail yards, converting them into cultural centers and public spaces that attract visitors and remind everyone of the town's significant role in America's industrial history. Despite ongoing economic challenges, Scottsboro's evolving identity, anchored by its enduring railroad legacy, continues to captivate both residents and visitors alike, offering a unique glimpse into a pivotal chapter of American progress. This place is pretty dead, I won't lie. But the next one? It's like someone hit pause on life and never hit play again. Picher, Oklahoma, the toxic town no one can live in. Picher, Oklahoma was once a thriving hub for lead and zinc mining, but its legacy turned toxic literally. Over decades, intense mining operations left behind a trail of environmental devastation. The area became heavily contaminated with hazardous substances such as lead and other heavy metals. By the early 2000s, it was clear that the land was too dangerous for residents, and the government declared it uninhabitable as part of the Tar Creek Superfund site cleanup. In recent years, studies and reports have confirmed that Picher remains one of the most contaminated places in the nation, and efforts to remediate the pollution continue at a slow, painstaking pace. Today, Picher stands as a ghost town, a chilling reminder of industrial excess and environmental neglect. The streets are empty, buildings crumble, and nature is slowly reclaiming what was once a bustling mining community. While a few explorers and history enthusiasts visit to witness its eerie landscape, most people steer clear due to the persistent health risks. Despite occasional discussions about turning Picher into a historical site or a cautionary exhibit, the overwhelming consensus remains: it's a place where no one can safely live, serving as a stark lesson on the long-term costs of environmental mismanagement. This one's got that abandoned feel for sure, but the next place? It's like it doesn't even know people exist. Empire, Nevada, a company town that shut down. Empire, Nevada was built as a company town for U.S. Gypsum, serving as a vibrant community where nearly every aspect of daily life revolved around the factory. In its heyday, the town thrived with a close-knit population that depended on the mine for work and economic stability. However, when the company shut down operations around 2011 due to shifting market demands and economic restructuring, the lifeblood of the town dried up almost overnight. Residents lost jobs, local businesses struggled, and many families were forced to leave in search of better opportunities. This abrupt change turned the empire from a bustling town into a shadow of its former self, with empty streets and crumbling buildings standing as silent witnesses to its past prosperity. In more recent years, updated data reveals that the empire's population has dwindled to just a handful of longtime residents, while much of the town remains abandoned and in decay. Efforts to revitalize the area have been minimal, as the town's heavy reliance on a single industry made it difficult to diversify its economic base. Yet, the empire continues to capture the attention of historians and urban explorers, intrigued by its dramatic rise and fall. The story of empire serves as a poignant reminder of the risks of economic overdependence and highlights the challenges faced by communities built around one industry when market forces shift. These towns illustrate the challenges faced by towns experiencing significant population declines. While some have become ghost towns, others are actively seeking solutions to attract new residents and revitalize their communities. Let me know in comments, which town do you think will become prosperous again?